everybody, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. So I think it was last Halloweenish time I did an exposed brain on Eric, and I'll link that video down below, but I didn't show you how I made the brain. I just kind of said how I did it. So today I'm going to show you how to make that brain. I got a brain mold at the Dollar Tree for $1, and it's a good enough size. So so you need like a brain mold of some sort. And this one, I like it because it sits flat, but it's still got all the little convolutions in it. And then you need some liquid latex and flour, and also a preferably disposable vessel to mix them in. I'm just using this empty Polar Pop cup and this wooden spoon that is now going to be reserved for making latex things. Okay, so you're going to take liquid latex and pour some in here. Now the one I made last year, I made the mixture kind of thick, and it took several days to dry. I think I'm going to make this one a little thinner. And then I'm just making a mess with this flour. And it would probably be better even to use a little like plastic spoon or fork, but I don't have one, so just using this. Then I don't measure, I just mix and add until I have the consistency I need. I'm adding some more latex. Okay, now this is mixed up good enough. If you want a less lumpy finish, definitely use like a whisk or a fork and mix it together. And you can even sift your flour into here. But this is good enough for this. So then you take your mold, and we're just gonna pour the mixture in here just a little at a time. And just start smoothing it around. You can also do this with cotton balls, unrolled and saturated with liquid latex. That would work perfectly fine too. Or even just multiple layers of just the liquid latex, but you would have to use a lot of layers. Now, if you just want a brain for display, you can also use Plaster of Paris, but then it would be a solid brain and it wouldn't be mushy like this brain will be. So I'm just kind of mushing everything around to make sure that all the little convolutions, is that the word, convolutions, Eric? Mm-hmm. All the brain valleys are filled. Just kind of work it around like that. Maybe give it a smack here and there. You just let this sit and dry. And then once this is dry, I'll show you the next step. Probably 2 or 3 days to dry this. Okay, excuse the mess behind me. I haven't made my bed, but I just wanted to show you the brain is dried. So I'm going to show you how to remove it from the mold, and then just a rough going over of how to, you know, apply it. Okay, so I have my little tray here with flour on it. So I'm just gonna brush some in here. You don't have to use a brush. You can use your hand if you want to, but just gonna brush some in here. And then I've already started pulling it away, but you just wanna brush it in here as you peel it back, because this will keep it from sticking to itself. This did take about 3 full days to dry because it was pretty thick. Okay. So there it is. Okay, so I have this Styrofoam head. He looks like Chevy Chase. I'm just going to use this to demonstrate to you how to put it on. Now, it may not be big enough to fit taut over your subject's head, but that's okay, because if you think about the skull being opened up, the brain's probably going to swell up a little bit and rise out of the top, so it's not that big a deal. So I'm going to pretend like this is a real head and try to put on a bald cap. Now, of course, if you're using the bald cap on a person, you want to make sure you get it on them straight, you know, the proper way, and then trim so it's not going over the eyes, and then trim around the ears, and then you're going to use some liquid latex or spirit gum to kind of glue it down, and then you can use a Q-tip to kind of blend out the edges to make it blend with the skin. You can also use makeup to make it blend. So there's that. Now the brain on there like that, and I am actually quite satisfied with this brain color. I would probably just go over it in a glossy paint, or let me pop this one convolution out. Vaseline even. But I'm going to show you how to go around the head. Now you can use cotton strips and latex and go around with that, but I'm going to show you how to do this with Model Magic. Okay. With Model Magic, you see me use this. A little bit goes a long way. So you're going to roll out a piece. Do a little bit at a time. So I'm just kind of showing you, I'm just kind of rolling it out, like just between my fingers like that. And you can also, once you get the brain on, you could also glue that in place too with some liquid latex or spirit gum. And then we would work this around the edge. Probably use some Pros-Aide. Okay, so you'd work that around the edge. You don't have to worry about it drying, just you want to make sure you stick it on there with an adhesive of some sort though. And then after you stick it on with the Pros-Aide, you're gonna smooth it down, and then you can use makeup to smooth it out to make it look like the skin. And you could actually double layer it. Like, let me show you what I mean. Like, say, put one thin layer there and then another thin layer, and the outer layer would be the skin and the inner layer would be the opening of the skull. So that's one way you can do it. Another thing you can do is you take a little bit of liquid latex, then you're going to take a cotton ball that you unroll, and I would suggest working with a little bit at a time, and then you want to saturate it in the latex, and then you can just work it, and be very careful not to make a mess of getting it on your brain, because it's going to be hard to get that off of that latex brain. And then, you know, you could do that all the way around, and then down here you just want to work it down so you're blending it in to the bald cap. Okay, that's one way you can do it. And another way is this horrible stuff, this Sin Wax. Could use that. Again, you want to use a little bit at a time. I hate this stuff. I hate working with it. It's very sticky and annoying and not user friendly in my opinion. But it looks great once you get it worked on properly. Then I'm just using this part. Then you just put it on like that and smooth it down. You don't want to smooth this part up because you want that to look like, you know, the skull or the skin. Okay. Now, of course, if you want to paint your brain or whatever, you're going to do that before you put the trim around it. I actually, you know what, now that I look at this, I actually think that the Sin Wax is going to look the best, the moldable putty. Or the clay, the air dry clay, the Model Magic. But I'll include links for everything down below. And if I can find the mold online, I'll link that below too. But I got mine at the Dollar Tree. But you can like also go through with a really fine paintbrush like this and paint through some fake blood. But you don't want to make it too thin, but you don't want to make it too thick either. But there you go. A simple, disturbing brain. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. I could give more instruction on how to do this. I have a video where I put a brain on Eric, and I will try to link that below if I can find that. But I hope that this helped you, and stay tuned for more Halloween ideas. Thank you. Bye.